July 25, 1943. There is a rule everyone in Europe believes is unbreakable. You do not overthrow a dictator in the middle of a world war. That is the rule. For decades, every general staff, every intelligence service, every dictator has believed it. Once a regime mobilizes millions of men, once it binds its fate to total war, internal revolt becomes impossible. Fear replaces dissent. Survival silences conscience. Power hardens. Especially in fascist states. Italy's Fascist Grand Council exists on paper as the highest authority of the regime, but in reality it is ornamental. Benito Mussolini has ruled for 21 years. He controls the party. He controls the police. He controls the myth. The council meets rarely. It always obeys. Berlin believes this rule absolutely. Adolf Hitler believes Mussolini is unshakable. The Axis is built on that assumption. German war plans, troop deployments, and Mediterranean strategy depend on Italy staying locked in place, no matter how badly the war goes. And Heinrich Himmler believes it most of all. To Himmler, loyalty is the ultimate currency. Betrayal is the ultimate crime. He has built the SS on that principle. He has purged, imprisoned, and murdered tens of thousands to enforce it. In his worldview, a fascist elite turning against its own duce is not just unlikely, it is inconceivable. And yet, on the night of July 24, 1943, in Rome, 28 men gather in a room they have not used in years. They lock the doors, they speak openly, they vote. And in doing so, they break the rule. Because in 1943, in the middle of total war, Italy's Fascist Grand Council turned against Benito Mussolini. And when word reaches Heinrich Himmler, the Reichsfuhrer SS responds with words and decisions that will change the fate of Italy, the German army, and hundreds of thousands of soldiers who never see it coming. You are Heinrich Himmler in the summer of 1943. You are 42 years old, thin, meticulous, soft-spoken. You wear wire-rimmed glasses and speak in the tone of a provincial schoolmaster. But beneath that exterior, you control the most powerful internal security apparatus in Europe. You command the SS. You oversee the Gestapo. You supervise the concentration camp system. You answer directly to Adolf Hitler. Your power does not come from charisma. It comes from files, from surveillance, from knowing who can be trusted and who must be destroyed. And in July 1943, the war is turning against you. In the East, the catastrophe at Stalingrad has killed or captured over 300,000 Axis troops. Entire German armies no longer exist. In North Africa, Axis forces have surrendered in Tunisia. Sicily has been invaded. Allied troops now stand on Italian soil.
Italy is collapsing. For months, German intelligence reports have warned of Italian weakness. Divisions under strength, units refusing to fight, commanders negotiating with the enemy, desertions numbered in the tens of thousands. But none of that prepares you for what happens next. On July 24th, the Fascist Grand Council meets for the first time since 1939. 28 men sit beneath portraits of Mussolini himself. Among them are party veterans, ministers, generals, men who owe everything they are to the regime. The meeting lasts over 10 hours. At 2 a.m. they vote. 19 in favor, 8 against, 1 abstention. The motion strips Mussolini of his powers as head of the armed forces and returns authority to the king. it is a bloodless coup. The next afternoon, July 25th, Mussolini goes to meet King Victor Emmanuel III, believing he will discuss the war. Instead, he is arrested by the Carabinieri and driven away in an ambulance, disguised as a sick man. 21 years of dictatorship ended in 15 minutes. And now, in Berlin, the news reaches you. This moment matters more than most people realize, because Italy is not just an ally, it is Germany's southern wall. Its ports, railways, and mountain passes protect the Reich's flank. If Italy falls, Germany must occupy it or lose the Mediterranean entirely. The question is not whether Italy has betrayed Germany. The question is how Germany will respond. And that response begins with what you say. The message reaches you in fragments. Rome is in chaos. Mussolini arrested. Badoglio was appointed prime minister. The Fascist Party dissolved. You read it again, slowly. For a moment there is silence. Then you speak. You do not shout. You do not pace. You do not ask questions. You say with absolute certainty that this proves what you have always believed. The Italians are a nation of traitors. Those words spread quickly through the upper levels of the Nazi leadership. They are repeated in memoranda, whispered in headquarters, recorded in diaries. To you, this is not a shock, it is confirmation. You have distrusted Italy for years. You have watched Italian generals ignore orders. You have seen their divisions crumble under pressure. You have intercepted communications hinting at secret negotiations with the Allies. And now the proof stands undeniable. A fascist elite has turned on its own creator. To you, that is unforgivable.
Within hours, you are in a conference with Hitler. The Führer rages. He feels personally betrayed. He has met Mussolini countless times. He has supported him with troops, weapons, and fuel. And now Italy has stabbed Germany in the back. You do not argue. You channel his anger into planning, because while the world sees confusion, you see opportunity. Italy's collapse creates a vacuum, and vacuums must be filled. You order SS intelligence to activate contingency plans already drafted months earlier. The operation has a name: Operation Achse. Its purpose is simple. If Italy defects, Germany will disarm the Italian armed forces and seize control of the country. The numbers involved are staggering. Over 1.7 million Italian soldiers are under arms. They are spread across Italy, France, the Balkans, Greece, and the Aegean Islands. Many believe the war is over for them. Some are already celebrating. They have no idea what is coming. You issue instructions in cold, bureaucratic language. Italian units are to be surrounded. Commanders are to be isolated. Weapons are to be confiscated. Resistance is to be crushed immediately. No negotiations, no mercy. At the same time, you turn your attention to Mussolini himself. Because to you, the Duce is no longer an ally, but he is still useful. If Mussolini can be rescued, installed as a puppet leader, his name can legitimize German occupation. The Italian people may follow him again out of habit or fear. Your task: SS units, gather intelligence on Mussolini's location. Reports come in, first Rome, then Gaeta, then an island prison, then a mountain hotel in the Apennines. Every move is tracked. Meanwhile, German troops begin to move. Panzer divisions roll south through the Brenner Pass. Airborne units prepare for rapid deployment. Waffen-SS formations receive sealed orders. You are no longer reacting. You are executing.
Italian soldiers, many of them teenagers and reservists, awake to the sound of German boots outside their barracks. Trucks block the exits. Machine guns are set up at the gates. Lay down your weapons. Some comply. Others hesitate. In places like Kefalonia, resistance erupts. Italian units refuse to surrender. Shots are fired. German commanders respond with overwhelming force. On Kefalonia alone, over 5,000 Italian prisoners were executed. This is not war as usual. This is punishment. And through it all, your words echo. Betrayal must be answered with annihilation. By early September, you learn that the Badoglio government has secretly signed an armistice with the Allies. On September 8th, it is announced publicly. Italy has switched sides. You are not surprised. You are ready. German units immediately seize Rome, Milan, Florence, and Naples. Within days, over 600,000 Italian soldiers are captured and deported to Germany as military internees. They are denied prisoner of war status. They are used as forced labor. This is your system at work. And then, on September 12, 1943, the final piece falls into place. German commandos land atop the Gran Sasso mountain. In a daring glider assault, they storm the hotel where Mussolini is held. There is no resistance. Mussolini is freed.
When you hear the news, you understand its significance instantly. This is not about loyalty. It is about control. Mussolini will return, not as a sovereign leader, but as a symbol. You help install him as head of the Italian Social Republic, a German-backed puppet state in northern Italy. The SS moves in behind him. Camps are established. Partisans are hunted. The message is clear. There is no escape from betrayal. And if you think this kind of moment-by-moment decision-making, this hidden machinery of power is worth preserving, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of command, consequence, and human cost deserve to be told, and by subscribing, you help us ensure they aren't forgotten. The true impact of what you set in motion is not fully understood until years later. Germany's occupation of Italy ties down over 20 divisions, troops that could have fought elsewhere. Partisan warfare explodes across the countryside. Rail lines are sabotaged. Convoys are ambushed. Entire SS units are diverted to internal security. The Allies, advancing north from Sicily and Salerno, face a hardened German defense, but one stretched thin. The Italian population fractures. Some support Mussolini's puppet regime. Many more join the resistance. Civil war erupts inside a world war. Your decision to treat Italy as a conquered enemy rather than a wavering ally ensures maximum control, but at maximum cost. Hundreds of thousands of Italians die before the war ends, and the precedent is set. Within the Nazi leadership, July 25 becomes a cautionary tale. Loyalty is no longer assumed, it must be enforced. Surveillance intensifies, suspicion deepens, the regime turns inward. What you say in those first hours, your certainty, your contempt, shapes everything that follows. Heinrich Himmler survives the Italian collapse. He does not survive the war. In April 1945, as the Third Reich disintegrates, he attempts to negotiate with the Allies behind Hitler's back. When exposed, he's dismissed,
disgraced and hunted. Captured by British forces in May 1945, he commits suicide with a cyanide capsule hidden in his mouth. The man who despised betrayal dies as a betrayer himself. Italy, meanwhile, remembers July 25 as liberation and tragedy. Families recall fathers and brothers who vanished into German camps. Villages remember reprisals. Mountains still bear the scars of partisan graves. This story matters now because it reminds you how quickly power can collapse and how violently it can respond. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten moments from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that the victims of July 1943 and the millions caught in its aftermath do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.